Adolescence, is it real or did someone invent it and we just all agreed to play along? Let's talk about it. Because if your teen seems confused, if they're angry or emotional or lost, they're not broken. They're responding to the story that our culture handed them. Welcome to Foundations of Character. I am Scott Wilkinson, and today we're going to clear this whole thing up. There are two ideas about teens. Idea number one is adolescence is a normal, unavoidable phase where kids are supposed to be emotional, reckless, dramatic, and confused while they find themselves. And idea number two, adolescence is made up, and human beings are either children or they're adults. There's no gray zone, no in-between species, just development, responsibility, and maturity. And parents, you're not crazy for expecting more from your teen. You're fighting ideas that never should have existed. Here's the wild part, is that both ideas require faith in information. The question is, which information are we going to put our faith in and which one produces strong kids? So where did adolescence come from? Let's look at the source. Around 1904, a psychologist named G. Stanley Hall decided to describe a brand new stage of life. He stated that childhood ends at 12 or 13 and adulthood begins at 22 or 24, and everything in between is a chaotic emotional swamp he labeled adolescence. Now, that wasn't ancient wisdom, that wasn't biology, and that wasn't scripture. It was a theory from a man influenced by Darwin with an agenda. A human noticed a trend, wrote a study, and human culture said, perfect, let's parent our kids based on that. This is how human culture works. It names a trend, it studies the trend, it monetizes the trend, and eventually it releases studies debunking the trend. And parents end up raising their kids based on someone's hypothesis from 120 years ago. This is why I don't put my faith in human trends, because humans, even smart ones, are flawed, emotional, agenda-driven, and inconsistent. Here's why that theory created confusion. When parents were handed the concept of adolescence, they interpreted it like this. Let's just write it out. My kids will grow out of it. It's just a phase. So parents stepped back. They tolerated behavior instead of teaching character. They bailed their kids out instead of letting consequences do the teaching. And the child, who now lives in a giant gray zone, asks, am I an adult? Am I a kid? Who's in charge of me? Who decides what I do and what am I supposed to do? Confusion always creates conflict. Confusion is not a developmental stage. Confusion is what fills the space when leadership steps back and there's a lack of clear communication. And now we have entire generations of young people raised on confusion. Not because they're broken, but because the framework we gave them was broken. And when kids are confused, they look for answers where they spend most of their time. At school, around their friends who are also confused and have no answers. Or they spend their time on their phone, which are cesspools of bad information. Now, God's design is much simpler. Let me show you the difference. In the Bible, there are only two categories. There's child and there's adult. That's it. Puberty around 12 or 13 wasn't the beginning of an extended childhood. It was the beginning of accountability. In God's design, responsibility isn't delayed. It is inherited at puberty. There's no gray area, no limbo, no cultural permission slip for chaos. It's simple, it's clear, it's consistent, and unchanging. And wisdom is the study of things that don't change. When my kids hit puberty, I told them, your decisions are yours. Your consequences are yours. And my job is to make sure you experience both. I love you too much to shield you from the lessons that will shape your character. I'm not here to punish you, and I'm not here to rescue you. I am here to lead and train you about how to be an adult. And from that moment on, I treated them more like adults. We had adult conversations, they had adult responsibilities, and they had adult expectations. I removed the confusion, and when you remove the confusion, you remove the conflict. And I made sure they knew that nothing you're feeling right now is new. I went through it, your mom went through it. This isn't some mysterious modern condition, it's just your turn to go through it. And parents don't fail when teens struggle. Parents fail when they stop leading and training their kids. So here's my question to you. Are we going to build our parenting on a theory from 1904, a theory built on trends, assumptions, and agendas? Or are we going to build it on God's design, a design thousands of years old, consistent across cultures, and anchored in wisdom? As for me, my faith goes to the wisdom of the design that never changes. My trust goes to the wisdom that never breaks down. And my parenting? It goes to the system that raises strong, resilient, God-fearing adults. Adolescence is not a stage of human development. It's a story human culture invented. It's not biology, and it's not a requirement for human development. Adolescence is a cultural myth. This, right here, this is where you subscribe to this channel. I'm Scott Wilkinson, and this is Foundations of Character.